Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful week, and welcome to another wonderful week here at Mystical Mystique Live TV. I mean, hey, could you get more better than that? It wasn't even very good English. However, welcome to everybody this evening. I am just going to take a little bit of time to share the page to some to some groups. So if anybody, wants to do that as well, they're more than welcome, because that would be wonderful. So if you could do that for me, like and share the feed while I wait for a few people to jump in. I can see a couple of people are already jumping in, which is fabulous. Hello, Clarissa. Hello, Stella. Hello, Paul. Hello, Karen. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Melissa. So if you can just take a moment to possibly like and share the page to any of your groups or to any of your friends. Maybe someone wants to have a watch party and so forth. Just as we start this evening, I'm just going to, as I said, I'm just doing a bit of housekeeping first off for the first couple of minutes, and waiting to see who jumps in. I hope you've had a wonderful week. We have finished Mars retrograde, and we had a new moon commence on Sunday evening, early Monday morning. So I hope everyone's going okay with that. I'm sure you'll tell me if you're not, and that's okay. So like I said, if you can like and share the page with some of your groups or your friends, that would be fabulous. I think I've done I'll just do one more. Just so we can get the ball rolling. I know some of you are already throwing in your questions, which is wonderful. As I said to people before, specific questions are the best because they get answered quite effectively. Okay. I'm just looking at some of your questions coming up. They're certainly coming in thick and fast, which, I always say that I like, so that's wonderful. And look, tell me, if anybody is new this evening, can you just let me know where you're tuning in from? Because that's always fabulous to have a look where you're tuning in from. And it's always exciting when we get new people as well. So, and that's why I say to like and share the page to any of your groups that you can, because there are people who, may need some guidance or who may need some help and, maybe don't even know about this. So all very good. And I'm just going to now go back up to the top of the page. I want to say hello to Shandy, to Gina, to Christina, to David, to Alison, to Chantel. Welcome, everybody, and good evening. I hope you've had a fab week. So let's get this ball rolling. Paul, thank you so much for your message. Yeah, I've had a pretty good week, actually. Very different to some of my other weeks. Anyway, maybe I'll touch on that a bit later. Maybe I won't. But anyway, good. Lee, good to see you. Lisa, you're new here, my darling friend, who has the most gorgeous candle range, which, most of you know, most of the regulars that are on tonight know that I've also set up a Christmas Eve and a New Year's Eve live show, and I'm going to be giving away some prizes and we're going to have some, not necessarily going to have some games, but there's a bit going to be involved with it. And I have reached out to a couple of companies to see if they will donate a few things that I can add to the baskets. There is a lot of people that will be alone on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and I've been involved with organising some help so I can get some computers at the Women's Refuge for Domestic Violence, and they're going to have computers laptops to be able to tune in on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So I want to do this array of Christmas presents, nothing massive, but Christmas presents and baskets and so forth to give away on Christmas Eve and New Year's for you guys. Anyone who's living in Sydney, or in the vicinity in the other states, I will certainly post you your prize if you win, or your gifts. I will do that without fail. And anyone who tunes in internationally, those people are likely to probably get things like, vouchers for private readings, and maybe vouchers for some things that they can use overseas, because I'm getting a few overseas companies in as well, with some products. I've had some pictures sent to me only yesterday with some of the products that are coming, and it's just extraordinary when you do things for others that are, like I said, that are alone at Christmas, and domestic violence women and men, domestic violence women with kiddies who may not be as fortunate as all of us. We've had a really tough time through COVID. A lot of people have had some massive tough times through COVID, but these people may have escaped their homes with absolutely nothing. So, and I know exactly what that feels like. Been in that position myself many years ago. So I wanted to reach out. So I've reached out to a few companies. So Lisa, if you're happy to talk to me later, maybe we can, because I will acknowledge everybody who does that. And so maybe some bits and pieces to throw into some baskets for some Chrissy presents for the homeless and domestic violence and victims of crime and all that sort of stuff. So that's where my heart will be on Christmas and New Year's Eve. So it's all good. Karen, hello. Look, I hope everyone's been kept safe and well this week. And I'm going to start off with Donna, my gorgeous friend that I've known for a very long time. We went to Hawaii together in 1984, believe it or not, and had a bit of a wow of a time. So, but Donna, your question is rather concerning to me. Because it took me very much by surprise, and I kind of just read it and went, wow. But seriously, Donna, Holly needs to, you and Holly need to, maybe I'm not tall enough tonight. Holly and yourself need to understand that if the right people have got hold of it already and the right people know about it, it will actually be totally under control. The main thing here is not to freak out or to freak one another out. And I know it's pretty, concerning to receive such news, but there's things that can be done, and I'm sure that will be looked at. But I also wanted to pop in and virtually let you know too that it's with everything that this is just what I'm hearing, with everything that she's doing and a few things that she's already done and a few people that have already looked at this. I'm getting told there's a great team around her that are actually looking into not necessarily how it's happened, but looking into how those can be diminished. And I feel, and what I hear from Spirit, is that there's not going to be too much disruption before the whole thing starts to subside, if that makes sense. And I know that sounds a little bit, wow, we'd hope it goes tomorrow. And it's not going to happen tomorrow, sweetheart. But there is, I'm being told, two people in particular that have kind of not necessarily worked around the clock. I mean, Spirit said that work around the clock, but I don't believe that they have. Sorry, Spirit. But it's like that two people have really delved into past stuff with her, like past blood tests, past reports and things like that, and kind of worked out a little team and a little regime, if I want to say it that way, of how they can address this situation and get on top of it. And I feel that it will be dispersed quite easily and quite effectively. But I need you both to not be so anxious about it. And I don't say that with a grain of salt, because I know you automatically will be, and anyone would be to, be quite frankly. But I hear that everything will be okay because the right people are already looking at it. So I hope that makes sense. And just let me know how you sit with that, my love. Okay, Melissa, thank you for sharing. That's very, very wonderful of you. Hi, Jenny, how are you? I hope you're well. Melinda, good evening. Karen, thank you for sharing to your friends. That's beautiful. Gemma, good evening. Gina, good evening. Wow, you're all jumping in. It's just really nice. Daniel, good evening. Hello to Jackie. Paul, thank you for sharing. Gorgeous soul. Okay. I have a question here. If Alison Turner actually is watching, Alison, I actually will address yours later. I've read it, and thank you for sending it in early. I have read it, and I will get to you a little later if that's okay. Anyway, Lisa, I've had sinus problems the last 8 weeks. Oh. Lisa, I actually want to say to you that part of it actually, with all respect, I think I am sitting. So I have that on the screen. I'm sitting a bit too low because my face kind of disappears, which some of you might like that. I want to actually say, Lisa, that the more you have a little bit of anxiety around it, the more you're getting, how can I say, the more you're getting flustered about, it's sinus, but now down the track it's still sinus, or is it something like, more pressing? I don't actually feel it's more pressing. If anything, what I feel is more infected sinuses. And, because even here, I want to say to you on my left side, under my eye, the minute I said that, I kind of got this little twinge thing under here, which virtually is saying to me that it's, as I was thinking, more infected sinuses. So if you actually want to get that checked with with a GP, because they can give you antibiotics for it, which is a slower process, but I would, I'd be more inclined to virtually say to you, and Spirit's showing me that, you're going on the machine. So in hindsight, it's more about probably having a CT scan, because they will be able to tell you how much of your sinus passage is blocked and if you actually have to get that flushed. So the flushing part of it is actually not so bad. It sounds, when they describe it, it sounds pretty yuck, but it's actually really, really effective and will clear that away for a very long time. So it might be something to look into, but I don't see anything sinister. I have to say that because I'm not being shown anything that's, a bit nasty or yucky or anything like that. So I actually I see it coming out okay. All right. So if you just want to get that checked, Lisa, that'd be fab. And if you want to let me know, that'd be also fantastic. Okay, Clarissa, I would love to know if you see a move for me or even a career change. Okay, Clarissa, I actually don't see such a move. Spirit's not showing me that, we're going for a wander down the street or anything, which they normally show me that sort of thing when there's a move. However, I am being shown that in your career path, and I say this I always say everything with the greatest respect, but I say that probably 100 times just to make sure that I'm not upsetting anybody, as if I get a bit too delicate at times. But I actually am being told that with your career, you're either two things. Spirit shows me that you're bored, and Spirit shows me that you're also at times being taken for granted. Now, the taken for granted for bit is a little concerning, because I think from what I'm being shown, that's happened before in a previous role, and it was actually quite upsetting to you in a previous role. And with that, with all the not so much drama, but with everything that was associated that, like before, it was like that you sort of stopped trusting people. You stopped listening to everything that people said, because it was more about, well, if someone mistreated me to that degree and I'm not being heard, then why should I trust anyone? So I actually need to address that, because Spirit is kind of showing me that in your life right now, you've kind of put up this wall and you don't wish to trust so easily. And look, I'm not saying to go out, every person that you meet to trust. But what I am saying is try and be in control of your emotions with it, because if you have your guard up too much, you're actually not going to feel, your gut feeling is not going to pick up whether a person is good or not. And I want you to be very careful with that. So, but in saying all that, I feel that you need to start looking for somewhere else, because once you feel like that you're not being respected or you're not being heard, or a Spirit said in the beginning that you're bored, because I don't think there's enough for you to do, quite honestly, then it's time to actually have a look and move on. And look, there's a lot of places that close down over Christmas. With COVID, there's not massive amounts to choose from, but I do want you to start looking day after day. Don't get engrossed in looking for more than an hour a day, because it can take over your life. And then you can get frustrated if you don't see anything, because now is the time that there's probably not as many jobs around as what there has in the past. And as much as you listen to the TV where they say there's, hundreds and thousands of jobs and no one's taking them, a lot of those could be rural, and not everybody wants to pack up and just move to rural for 3 months just to do fruit picking, so because then that disrupts the life they have here. So just be mindful of not staying on there too long, and getting yourself involved in applying for some. And also be aware that people or businesses, bigger companies, close down over Christmas. So there might be an ad out, but they may not respond till kind of mid-January or something or other, because they're looking at closing down. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Let me know how you go. Okay, Gina, may I have a reading on my health and an investment that we are thinking of going into? Okay, it's two together would actually be quite involved, but I'm just going to have a quick look at what's going on. I can see myself on another screen. Ticket? No, I'm just joking. I'm playing with a few of you tonight, so to speak. Okay, what have I got? Oh, okay. So what you've been contemplating for a while, excuse me, what you've had in your mind, what you've done your homework on, as Spirit shows me these bits of paper. So you're flicking through all these bits of paper. So I would probably think that's more towards the investment. But I'm also being told you're contemplating a bit too hard. I know that sounds really weird, Spirit. Come on. Why? What does it mean? What do you mean by just contemplating too hard? Okay, so you've mulled over this a couple of times. So I want to say that you've put it on the back burner for a little time, and that's probably like, probably more so that was COVID that you put it on the back burner, because I think you had this idea for a while, and I think you've been looking at it for a while. So I dare say that COVID's come in and gone and taken the bull by the horns as such, and sort of like, squashed everything that you were kind of thinking of doing and getting out there and getting yourself involved in doing an investment. I want to say to you that probably mid-December to the second or third week of January is also not going to be the great time to be actually actively going, kind of trying to put your finger on the pulse to a few places, mainly because I'm being told that the dollar sign keeps going up and up and up until kind of at the end of January. So just be mindful of that. So if you want to, my God, the Spirit says it in a strange way. If you want to overspend, do it in that time. Otherwise, have a quick look for the next couple of weeks, and then don't look again to the first week of February. And what I'm being shown is you will find somewhere that you really like. However, really weird, one of the bedrooms is not to your satisfactory. So I think I'm being shown that you will still have to pull out a wall, but that is to virtually have your own ideas thrown into the mix. That's all. And if you do, there's more dollars. So not necessarily more dollars to spend, because that's obvious with taking down a wall, but more dollars that you will get back on your investment. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And thank you for joining in tonight. It's lovely to see you. Who have I got? Christina. Ivan is supposed to be moving here before the year ends, so I'd like to know if that will happen. Okay, Christina. I actually have to say no. I'm not hearing anything. I'm just pulling a couple of cards. I'm not hearing from anything from Spirit that is letting me know there's going to be like an embrace of, like, an embrace of hugs, or you're not going to kind of run into anyone's arms, if that makes sense. So I actually want to say to you that, it would be nice to have Ivan here for Christmas. I just don't think he's going to make it. But also too, this is all around also too whether he can get a flight. Yeah, okay, because Spirit shows me a plane. So I guess he's coming from overseas or somewhere where he needs to get a plane to get to you. But I'm being told that possibly not before Christmas. If anything, I actually want to say to you that he's had a booking, or he's had a booklet of a booking. I don't know why they're showing me a booklet. That's just a bit weird. But it's it's like he's pre-planned. My tongue's getting stuck in my mouth the whole night so far. It's like he's pre-planned it already, and it's fallen through twice before, and it may fall through a third time. Because as I said, I'm just not getting that loving embrace that when you haven't seen or heard from anybody for a long time, you have this, really lovely embrace. I'm just not feeling that from spirit. Like I feel there'll be a communication, like the communication will keep up, but I actually don't see here. If anything, I actually want to say to you the 17th. The 17th seems to be significant for something. It's either the 17th of January, which is a bit far off, or there's some sort of decision, or maybe he was supposed to be here the 17th of December, but the number 17 is very significant to you and to him. So if you can let me know what that is, that would be great, because we have to work around that number, Spirit's telling me. So Spirit's kind of saying also too, 1 and 7, like, that's at 8, so the 8 number comes into play as well. Okay, let me see what's going on. My goodness, a few of you have jumped on. I didn't know there were so many. That's what happens when you're here on your own. You don't scroll down. Because I try to do everybody in order, and hence, that's why I kind of don't see what's at the bottom. So, David, good evening. Thank you for joining. It's probably the first time that you've joined. Gemma, I'd really like to know if someone is going to work out my health problem anytime soon. Would be so much appreciated. Gemma, I'm sorry to hear that you've got a number, and I don't mean to say that disrespectfully, but you've had a number of things go on. You've had a number of things continuing to go on, but you've had a number of things that have still got a question mark against it. Now, some have been solved in the past, and some of the methods to medicine and the way that you've been treated, that's kind of worked okay in the past. But I think we're up against a stalemate here, and I think there's something going on which hasn't been picked up. And look, I know this is weird. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I don't think properly. Spirit has just jumped in and said something about your pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. I know kind of where it is, because I know if they have to operate on it or to remove part of it, they have to go in through here, because it sits at the very base of your skull. But for some unknown reason, I can't go that way. So pituitary, I can't even say it, pituitary gland. Oh, I'm going to get picked up for I can't say the word now. Someone's going to have a crack at me about that. But that's what Spirit said to me. So I'm just wondering if you're going to, because I know they can also have a look in your bloods for that. So if you can ask your doctor about that. And also I want to see if you've been to a naturopath with adrenal fatigue, because Spirit tells me that over time you've done a whole lot of stuff for a whole lot of people, and you're kind of chasing your tail a little bit, because you're trying to keep abreast of your own health. And there's some days that you actually can't, but you've been going and going and going like an ever-ready battery, and it's kind of like, I can't keep doing this, but I want to help this person, or I want to do this, or I have to be here, or I have to be there. So it seems like, it's like Spirit shows me like a car running out of fuel, where it kind of chugs along and then it just stops. So that's kind of, I think, where you're at. But I have to get you to ask for those two particular things. And I also want to find out if your magnesium level is okay as well, because I'm getting shown that sometimes that your legs ache, and sometimes when you put them up, the ache doesn't go away. So there's a few things there that are, some of them are a little bit what I would call possibly basic, but if they haven't been checked or thought of, it could be adding on to something else. And then adding that onto something else is going to kind of expand the other thing. And I think it's just some of your results are kind of all over the shop, where that's where they're not being able to pinpoint it. So, but maybe they haven't. Look, I'm not discrediting your doctors at all, and I certainly don't proclaim to be a medical medium. But Spirit showed me that almost straight away, so I have to run with it. And yeah, if you get that checked, that would be great. And please just let me know, because I think my dad has just jumped in and with an old saying of you're sick to the back teeth of it. And I feel that you are, and I feel like the other saying is that you just had a gutful, and it's now time to be firm, and kind of when you go and ask somebody for some help or ask them to look at, if they say, oh no, we don't think it's that, we don't really think it's necessary, please push the point, because if you don't push for answers, you won't get. And you've probably been doing that a bit, but now it's you need more assertiveness in your voice. So your GP may have known you for a long time and may know that you're a kind and loving person, but it's now really time to push the point. Yeah, because like I said, Spirit, my dad has jumped in and said, you're fed up to the back teeth. So it's time to kind of go, hey, I'm important and I want some answers for me. Yeah. So I hope that helps you. And yeah, just let me know how you go. Penny. Oh, I went to school with Penny, so welcome. I hope you can have you enjoy. It'd be wonderful. Lisa, I'm new to this, but we go back a long way. From the Gold. Yes, we do go back a long way, my love. And I hope you heard what I was saying earlier. And if we can have a chat about that, that would be good. And being new to this, that's okay. If you've got a specific question, please, please put your question up. And no disrespect to anybody. I don't deliberately skip anybody. There always ends up being a lot of questions here, and Ms Tique always works on her own. So if we get any trolls tonight that send you a message that say inbox me for a whatever, then don't, because they're only after your money and they're trash, and then I'll have them blocked. So yeah, generally we get 3 or 4 in a live, but it's just the way it goes. I'll try and keep my eye on that as well as anything else. But yeah, so Lisa, if you've got a question that you want answered, just pop it up. That'd be great. And it might end up on the bottom, but I will continue to scroll down when I get a chance. Karen would love to know if and when we get a new house, please. Okay. Not in 2020. That's the first thing I heard. Spirit was kind of, pardon me smiling, but Spirit was kind of saying that with a laugh, saying, that's not coming for Christmas. Which that's pretty specific from Spirit. Not coming from Christmas, but I don't think you would actually find the right one before Christmas anyway. Spirit tells me that, and please, again with respect, Spirit tells me that you're a bit picky. And if you're a bit picky, then that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It just means that every place that you go to, if something's not quite hit right here, something's not quite right there, you may walk out and leave a beauty behind. So open mind, go in there, see past any flaws, because all flaws can be fixed. So just have a good look around and get your creative mind into gear when you kind of look at something. When you see a fault, just kind of go, do you know what? If I move that or pull out that and put this in or do this, then you'll kind of see the magic of something like, coming forth. However, like I said, Spirit has already said, you're not getting one for Christmas. So I actually want to say to you mid-February, which is probably a better time. I don't even know what the market's doing as such. I mean, years ago I used to work in finance, and it generally gets really, really expensive around, summer, hot weather-wise, especially with coastal things and being near a beach. The value will just skyrocket because they think, oh, someone will want to buy because it's summer and they got the beach there. So just be mindful of your pricing. But yeah, Spirit said not before Christmas. No Christmas present being a house, and about mid-February. So just let me know your thoughts on that. That'd be wonderful. Okay, Christina, I've done. I just. Wow, you guys are on fire. There is literally so many messages, which is good, right? We're not going to stress. We're just going to go through it all, and that's all good. And again, I'll reiterate, if I don't get through to your message tonight, where I always try, you guys know I always try, then it just means that, the next live, which will be next week, you have to pop in there again. Please like and share the feed. If I can see that you're a constant sharer in letting others in on coming in as well. That's always wonderful, and gratitude with that will be followed with gratitude. Alrighty, so let me see what I've got here. Sonia, am I going to be successful in finding a new job in the near future? Sonia. Have you been looking in the right places, Spirit says? I know you've struggled with some employment, and I think you're one of my regulars where I think that you have been misused, I want to say, in the place that you are. Hoping that no one's watching from there, of course. But I also want to say to you that in looking, please be mindful. I mean, I don't like to bring COVID into a lot of things, but please be mindful with COVID that's gone on. There's some places that are really willing to employ people because they want to get everything back up and run, everything wonderful again. And there's people who are really skeptical about putting new people on because they wonder how it's going to affect their business. So I have to bring that into play because it's absolutely true. But in the near future, I don't see yours. I mean, everything seems to be not happening before Christmas this year. So that's either Spirit telling me that 2020 is crap, and the 2021 will be so much better for everybody. And I really hope that's true, because Spirit keeps directing me and saying, no, not before Christmas. However, I'm also guided to say, don't stop looking, don't give up, and don't give up don't give up on looking for something that you are so passionate about. I want to say to you that that's probably not there right now, but you need to keep focused. Oh, that's not right. You need to keep focused, and you need to kind of sit there and go, do you know what? I've been wanting to do something for a very long time because I'm very passionate about it. How can I do it? Think outside the square. Think of ways that you can get yourself involved, even if it's a bit of voluntary work. I mean, voluntary work never hurts anybody. I do a lot of community work for free, where I will go to domestic violence refuges. I will stand there and I will talk to people, male or female. I will let them know that, we can get through all this together. People like that are quite angry when things have happened. There are, my passion is also always going to be helping them. But they feel like that they can't apply for a job because they're in a weaker moment of their life. It's about building your own confidence, working out what you're passionate about doing, working out where your passion truly lies, for you to be able to go, do you know what? I'm going to make this work. I'm going to, walk on water if I have to find what I really want to do. Because when you actually get into a role that you really love, and it's something that you're so passionate about, work is easy. Turning up for work every day is easy. Working even longer hours, as long as you're paid for it, so to speak, you don't mind because you're so passionate in what you're doing. Kind of get into that zone to find what your passion is, to grow what your passion is, and get in there and do it. Yeah. Because I just think it's weird when some people want to get out of one place because, even if it's a horrible place to work for, things aren't going right. They get out of one and they jump into another just because they want to jump in. Do you know what I mean? And therefore they feel that they're stuck in that one too, because they haven't gone to do something they're passionate about. It's just if I get out of one and just grab any job, I'll be happy. But jobs don't make you happy. Relationships don't always make you happy. You have to be happy with yourself. You have to be happy doing what you love. Yeah. So Spirit says just be mindful about all that, and that would be great. Okay, let me know how you go. Pashendra, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. Can you jump back in and ask me a specific question, because generals are just too long to do on a live feed. If you wouldn't mind, that would be fabulous. Thank you for joining. I don't think I've seen your name before. I may have seen it maybe last week, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, Stella, I wanted to ask something. Will I ever live independently from my family? And also, is my health okay? Sometimes I think I can't breathe, but wonder if it's just anxiety. Stella, you've answered the second question. You've answered yourself, because it is just anxiety. It's got nothing to do with your lungs. It's got nothing to do with your esophagus at all. I don't see a single thing there. I feel that it's more about your anxiety. I also feel that when you start to get that feeling, again with the greatest respect, but it's when you start to get that feeling that your mind wanders off. Your mind kind of goes in a place of, oh, is it this? And is there something wrong with me? And I wonder if there's something wrong with me. And should I get it checked? And the more you're jumping backwards and forwards and doing all that, it's like, it's just this adrenaline fueled, I guess, fear is the word that you've put inside yourself. And when you've done that, it's so hard to pull yourself back from that. But your symptoms actually feel worse. When you're in that situation, your symptoms actually feel worse. So that anxiety-driven fear it's all it is. And I don't say that lightly, because when you're in the moment, and some people feel like they're having a heart attack, and it's just the anxiety, but it's fueled with fear, because you've allowed to talk to to your own subconscious. You've been, you sit there and go, well, is it this or is it that? Or, and some people, if they've got pain in their chest, oh my God, am I having a heart attack? And the minute they say that, their adrenaline just jumps. So then your blood pressure increases and all sorts of things. So pull yourself back to your ordinary, everything you do. You go to exercise class, you go to boot camps, you go to boxing, you do all that sort of thing. If there was something wrong with your lungs, you wouldn't be able to do all that, because you'd be showing signs of massive amounts of fatigue and all that sort of stuff. So I don't believe it is related to your health, as opposed to the other one, living independently. I feel, again, with the greatest respect, I feel that things are comfortable but uncomfortable. So it's comfortable having other people around, especially when you've got a bit of anxiety, but it's uncomfortable when others don't respect who you are or don't respect your privacy, if I want to say it in that way. But it's more about you kind of going, do you know what do I want to do? In hindsight, if you're compelled to stay for reasons of caring, or if you're someone's carer, or that person is elderly and that they wouldn't cope without you. I mean, that's a scenario that you have to answer for yourself. If that is not the scenario, then you have to sit back. Again, I say I don't say anything in malice, or I have no judgment, but it's like you have to sit back and kind of go, well, do I want to live on my own? Do I want to engage in doing everything for myself? Do I want my own independence? If that's where your passion lies, then look at that. Because it's only that when you want to do something like that you'll actually be happy. If I said to you, I see you living, on your own, whether it's with your animals or, whatever the case may be, you might go, oh, great, Ms Tique saw me doing that, so I've got to go do that. But then you may not be happy, because you may have, left family or friends behind that you actually really like sometimes looking after, because sometimes I want to say that you feel a little bit lost if they weren't around. So the decision on that one, personally, what I feel from spirit is that I don't even see it for 12 months though, really. Spirit is kind of saying, you will get out there on your own, but you have to want it. You have to desire it. You have to kind of go, do you know what? I want to do this. And then you'll be successful at it. And then you won't mind being such. But yeah, and to me, anxiety has to get under control. You have to get a really good handle on anxiety before you'd want to live on your own. That's just a little hint. Because I know people that have that, and it's very difficult sometimes to be in an anxiety-ridden episode, let's say, use that word, and have no one to discuss with, no one to get you to check on your breathing, all that sort of thing. So be mindful of that too. But anyway, let me know, excuse me, let me know how you feel about that, and we can discuss that at a later point anyway. Chantel, when do you see me getting a bigger home, and will I be happy there, please? Our house is too small for the moment. Chantel, you've asked me this question before. I'm not picking on you, but you have asked me this question before. And I don't even know what I said before, because Spirit always jumps in. I don't always, I mean, sometimes I remember, but I don't always remember everything that is said in the heat of the moment. And Spirit is kind of laughing with me, saying, if you kept a lid on some expenses, there would be more money to put aside for a bigger home. But you do have a lot of children. Like I'm being shown a lot. And you kind of run after a lot of them, and you seriously do need a bigger home. Where is Spirit directing me? I actually don't know where you live, but Spirit wants to say, I don't even know what this means. Spirit is saying to me that if you keep your pennies to yourself, I don't know what that is. If you keep your pennies to yourself and wait a further 6 to 8 months, they're taking me 6 suburbs to the north. I don't know where you live, so where north is, I don't know. North is north, but 6 jumps to the north. Why are we going 6 jumps to the north, Spirit? Come on, talk to me. Okay. So it's more about the area that you're in is a different dollar sign to 6 to the north. So Spirit's been a bit clear on that one. So yeah, I have to go with that, because that your Spirit has now said that to me 3 times in my ear, so I have to run with that. So if you can work out where that is, and have a look at pricings, and have a look for suitable spaces where you can possibly add to the back. Maybe you can add an extra room or something to the back on a cheaper level. Maybe you can do that. But Spirit is also saying, don't put in the yellow pages, don't put home renovators or builders, because you'll get all the expensive ones first. Okay, so just let me know how you go with that, and yeah, speak to me soon. Okay, Shandy, would love a reading if a loved one wants to come through, or you're drawn to my energy. Thank you. Shandy, what have I got for you? Okay, the first thing I want to say to you is that, wow, okay, very direct. You don't trust your own intuition sometimes, and you don't trust what you feel about certain situations. So Spirit is kind of saying to me that, sometimes when you're in certain situations that you go, oh, I hate that word, thank you. Spirit has said sometimes you go off to fantasy land, so I hate that word. But you have to be mindful of surroundings and your own situations before you put yourself in the fantasy world. I have no idea where Spirit's going with this. However, I have to run with it. So it's more about at times you have thought of an outcome with a situation, and the outcome has turned the other way. And I want to say to you, when that has happened before, and you've kind of been crushed in the sense of it, it's more about you didn't trust what you were hearing from your gut. Now, I have a gentleman here that seems to present himself, I actually want to say a granddad, but he's smiling at me. So it's almost, I'll give you a little bit more, but I want to say to you, it's actually not your granddad, but it's somebody that's been with you or been around you throughout your life that kind of is like the doting granddad, if that's the way to say it. And he was a true man of substance, but he was a gentleman that was quiet at times, and I actually want to say a little bit shy, but gave you all the love in the world, like was always there to soothe or put the, as I see it, put the Band-Aid on a cut. But then when somebody kind of showed him or did him an injustice, he was like a wolf. I just get shown wolf. And not that the wolf is attacking, but the wolf is standing at the front of the pack. And when they stand at the front of the pack, it's like, I'm in charge. You've just trodden on my integrity. You've just questioned my judgment. And so he's a man that was like, if I want to say to you, even in your younger years when he was around, if something went wrong or something happened at school, if mum or dad weren't quick enough, I was the man type thing. He's coming forward as I was the one who solved certain problems. So, he, as I said, he does present himself as a granddad. And in saying that, I want to say to you that what I don't know how this is relevant, but maybe you're showing me this because maybe you will understand who it is. But love to write, almost like he had I won't say an actual study, but like his own special spot, and he had his own special pen. I love people with their own special pen, but he had it neat, and being neat all the time, he always knew that if he had to write something or put something down that he didn't forget or whatever the case may be, he had a place to sit and to write. So he had this amazing, and I actually want to say the color of the pen is black with a gold nib, not a nib because that's at the front, a gold thing at the top. Not that you press, but just a gold thing at the top. So if any of that is relevant to you, please let me know. But I actually want to say to you that, certain things are going to change for the better, but you've got to start believing in you. And I say that with respect because somebody somewhere has trodden on you, and it's taken a while for you to come back to say, do you know what? I'm worthy of more. So I just want to throw that out there, and you let me know how you go with that. Please, at any point, please jump in and let me know. Okay. Sorry, I was just going down, have a bit of a scroll down. Okay, so I've got one goose here that's jumping in and annoying some of you guys. I was going to block that person. Lisa, I've just seen your while I'm doing this, I just saw your answer to this is the guy. This is so far. This is our first troll. But yeah. Lisa, I've just seen that you said that you're on antibiotics. Sweetheart, get it all checked, because if the antibiotics aren't working, I would say a scan. And it's just a CT scan. And I actually know that you just lay face down on the scanner. It's quite quick. It'll just show how much room you've got. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm just scrolling down to see if I've got any other trolls, because trolls will just get annoying if I can get rid of them now. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe not. I saw a comment which I can't find now from my gorgeous friend Anthony. I saw his name pop up, and now I can't find it, of course. But yeah. Anthony, if you can let me know what that question was, because I saw your name and didn't get to have a look. Kylie, new to a show, and I have been trying to get pregnant, and I'd like to know if Christmas or after. Kylie, I always say everything with the greatest respect, and people who know me know that I don't, fluff around with a lot of things. But I actually want to say to you that, in all due respect, it's like you're trying to will it to happen. It's like every fleeting moment or every chance you get, it's like, got to try now because I want to get pregnant. Um, so all that kind of thing, you're putting so much stress on your mind and your body that your body is starting to tense way up, and it wouldn't matter. Sorry to say this, but it wouldn't matter how many times that you tried in a night or a week, that you're actually not going to fall pregnant, because everything is very, very tense. So all your internal organs tense, yeah. Um, I want you, if you can, because I do see a little one. I actually see two, not together. I don't. They're not twins. I had to clarify that very, very quickly, because Spirit said don't frighten her. So I see two, but I see them very soon after one another. But that's more so that if you can learn to kind of take a step back and embrace it for what it is. There's always a wonderful embracement that you're wanting a child, and you want to mother a child, and you want to take care of it, and that's all wonderful. But the moment you put stress on yourself about you have to have a child because I want one now, the body just doesn't want to do that, because you just put so much stress on the actual into your entire body that everything just gets really, really tense. And it's just like, no, I have to learn to relax, and I have to learn to kind of go, do you know what? It will, I know it sounds like a cliche, but when you say, it will happen when it wants to happen, it actually is true, because when you say that, you're actually relaxing your body like a meditation in the one sentence. And it's not a very big sentence, but you're giving your body that, that sense of, yes, I agree with you, body, that, it will happen when you're ready. You're talking to your body to say it will happen when you're ready. Because the worst thing that can happen is you try and force this, and your body's not ready to hold it. Your body is not ready to kind of, keep it, and all that sort of stuff. And that's when we can get some pretty nasty stuff happening to us. So I want you to be very, very careful with that, because when the body is stressed, the body is very, very tense. So anyone that sits at a computer all day, like, when you're stressed or you're working hard, your shoulders are up here. By the time you kind of come back here, your shoulders don't know what the right level is. So your shoulders will then just ache all the time. So just be mindful, because, and that kind of, you can get muscles that will just seize. And when they seize, you normally have to go and see someone to get the pressure released, or get the, all that sort of stuff. No one can actually do that to your internal organs. So you have to kind of learn to, and look, I know how much you want a child. And when I see two, I get excited. And I get excited for you, but you need to seriously just sit back and go, do you know what? I need to respect my body. And if my body's not ready this month, then I'll try harder to respect my body next month. And by talking to excuse me, by talking to yourself in a bit of that way, your body just eases into it. Your body is accepting that, it will happen when it's ready, and it will. Okay. I have a lot of faith in that, yeah. Because it's a wonderful thing, and I will congratulate you when the time comes. when you actually want to go, do you know what? I need to relax. Okay. Let me have a look. Oh, another troll. Let's get rid of that. Where do I want to go? You're very welcome, and I hope you took all that on board, and I hope Holly takes it all on board, and I hope that the anxiety doesn't run a bit too much with it, yeah? And thank you for jumping in. Hello, how are you? I hope you're well. Let me have a look. Who have I got here? Jennifer, I should say. My tongue is getting so twisted tonight. Spirit is just, I think it's because like I was talking about stress with that other lady, I think it's because last week there was a few people who inboxed me after the live and said, "Oh, you missed me. I didn't get my reading. This is my question." And I kind of had to go back and say, do you know what? It's not on purpose. I do try and get to everybody, and everybody. I'm sure. I'm sure a few of you, tune into a lot of live feeds, and that's really great. Because you're obviously seeking some help and seeking some guidance, and that's wonderful. However, I don't miss people deliberately. It's just who I can get to in the time that I allocate to do this, and I am on every week. And if there's something really urgent, or there's something that is rather involved, it would be really nice if you could book in for a proper private reading, because that's also too what it's about. These are only short and sweet type thing. There's a lot more disclosed in a full private reading, which goes for an hour for each person. So you're always welcome to go to my website and do that. But please don't ever get upset if I don't get to your reading, because I can't go. I just can't get to everybody. It's physically impossible. I can't even see my entire page of comments, and my cursor is actually right up the top at the moment, and there's heaps below it. So it's just the way it is. I try and do everybody in order, and if I skip some because I've maybe blocked a troll or whatever, and I've seen I've missed you either side of that, again, it's not deliberate. It's just how it has to be. So I am sorry, and we will press on. So getting back to Jennifer, single lives. Great, thank you so much. Great that you're jumping in each week. Now that's fabulous. My 3-year-old has been through a lot of trauma. Wondering if he'll be okay. Is there more going on? Jennifer, I actually want to say to you that he is only 3. See how I automatically said he then when you haven't told me whether it's a girl or a boy. But what I get told is there is more than meets the eye. But I actually want to say very, very intuitive. A child who will get very lost in a book. I don't mean lost that they lose the storyline, lost in a sense of they put themselves in that book. They kind of take themselves to where they're, reading. I know he's only 3, but, even looking at pictures, it's like he projects himself from being here to being in the story. Because sometimes being in the story is so much better than being around a few people that what I hear aren't very nice. So I don't know if there's people in your street or people at a kindy that there's a bit of conflict going on. And conflict's a very big word for 3-year-old children. However, if there's where is it going? Excuse me. I'm being told that wherever he is, there's a child there that kind of needs some, or how do I say it without anyone getting offended, who needs some help with some development, needs some help with some behavioural stuff. And I think that person is upsetting a few people, including your child. So I don't think it's bad. I just think because of the age, human brain can't absorb it, doesn't know what's going on, doesn't know kind of how to react as such. So maybe acting out a little bit and not always to your liking. Also, too, I actually want to say to you, wow. I think maybe you're a person that might come to me at one point for private stuff, because I feel that even though 3, I need to bring up 18 or 19 months. So when they were 18 or 19 months, something went on that wasn't quite flash, is the only way I want to say that. And in saying that, you've been a pillar of strength. You've been the how do I say it? You've been the guiding light that has been the protector, and you've been there every inch of the way. And I know only 3, he's got a long way to go, but he, will be fine. We'll be fine. I'm being told fine, because with you being in the guardian light, you will guide in the right direction without selfishness, without aggression, without attitude. I don't know why I'm being shown all that. However, just in this point of time, maybe have a look at the surroundings, maybe have a look at what's going on where he's involved with someone else, and see if you can get someone to just sit back and watch that. But also, too, that 18 or 19 months, that was, he remembers that. So there's some stuff to work on there probably. But yeah, as I said, if you ever want to go through that a lot more thoroughly, you will certainly know where to find me, yeah. So I hope that's helped, and if you could let me know, that would be fab. Okay. Who have we got? Heather. Thank you, Heather. The one I got yesterday was just extraordinary. Really extraordinary. For those who don't have my now I'm going to be a show off, sorry. For those who don't have my Facebook pages, I'm actually going to put something up on the screen which you may or may not be able to read. But yesterday I was told, well, I was actually put in writing that Australia-wide, that I'd made a finalist twice. So my Mystique psychic work, my holistic counselling, and my psychotherapy work have been awarded a finalist in the My Business Awards, as I said, which are Australia-wide and a very prestigious award thing. So I'm a finalist in the Health Service Business of the Year, and one that I'm just floored about, Innovator of the Year. So I don't believe you. So if you can see that, I mean, that is that's just awesome. I was blown away when I got the letter and saw it, and I just went, oh my God. I have one of, I've been a finalist in a few different types of awards in the past, and I've got another one coming up, was supposed to be next Wednesday. There is behind me last year where I won the Sydney Business Award for everything I do, and that was in our local area. And I'm a finalist again in that, as well as Business Person of the Year in Sydney, and that was supposed to be next Wednesday, but that's been moved over to the Wednesday after, so because of COVID. So, but anyway. So yeah, very exciting things that have happened this year, even with COVID. My business kind of went quiet for a while, and that's okay. It was understandable. But yeah, some fabulous awards. I've been, made a finalist this year, and I'm more than grateful. I'm more than blessed to think that entrepreneurs of small businesses have chosen mine. So thank you, Heather, for your comments. That's really lovely. And I actually want to say to you, direction in your life. Now, the direction is going to sound weird. The direction that you would like it to go is what you have to manifest. It's more about, how do I say this? You have come up with some barriers about not being able to do what you want to do. And those barriers have been consistent for a while, but they've also kind of, if you look at it in a different way, the barriers have kind of been there because it wasn't the right time. So the barriers have actually stopped you doing something at the wrong time, if you know what I mean. So it's more about now kind of going, well, do you know what? What were my barriers? What was holding me back before that won't hold me back now? And when you look at that and you can see the difference, you will then know when the right time is to go for it. Because I see virtually by March, April next year, that it's almost like you've turned some, and again with respect, but you've turned some of the negative thought about this around the opposite way. Because instead of looking at certain things as a negative, going, well, I can't do that because I can't get this to get that to go there to do this. Instead of saying all that, the first time you say I can't, so I go, okay, I can't do it that way, but how can I work that I can do it in the long run? And that's where you've got, it's not about cutting corners, it's about working out a different strategy about how you can sort of get around something, yeah? Because the worst thing you can say is, I can't do that. The minute you say, I can't do that, the word can't sticks into your subconscious. And then you kind of, it just says, well, if you can't do it, you can't do it. And then it clouds the creativity mind part to kind of go, do you know what? I can't do it that way, but I wonder if I can do it this way. I wonder what would work if I spun it around to do it this way. And they're the things that you've got to do and look at this time around to be able to put things into place to work on for early next year. You need to go in that direction, okay? So I hope that helps you. And yeah, let me know, please. Well, just let me know how you feel about it. Yeah. Because that would be great. Okay, Lisa Wheeler, I have finally opened up about trauma from my past. Will I now be able to heal, or have I made a mistake? Lisa, no mistake. Opening up about trauma is the best thing you can do. My tattoo on my arm, I can't even get it the right way, says acknowledge, accept, release with the butterfly for transformation. Now, there's 3 simple words. However, it's a whole healing process that I offer my clients. I could sell the program, really. I could probably write it even in a book. But when I have, private readings with people, if there's a trauma that they need to release certain things from, it's a whole process that I teach you, and I get you to work on certain things. And it can take up to 6 months, for you to be able to go from start to finish in releasing every skerrick that is about opening up with a trauma. Now, it's not about releasing it so you can forget it, because we can never forget the past. The past will always be with us, but it's how you deal with everything. So the acknowledge, accept, release part, it's about how you deal with certain things that your memory either has retained or your body has retained as baggage. Yeah. So it's a massive process. So it's wonderful. I really do praise you for actually finally opening up to trauma. You will be able to heal, but it's depending on what healing path that you're on with whoever you open up to. You certainly haven't made a mistake. What I want to say to you, though, is that sometimes some things can hurt more before they roll on the path of being able to be released successfully. Yeah. So just be mindful of that. So if you hit a bit of a slump, don't think you're on the wrong path, because it's not about reliving certain things. It's just about bringing up those emotions, handling those emotions when they come to the surface, and being able to release them. Yeah. So it is a process. And as I said, it can take, the way I can teach it, it can take up to 6 months. It depends on how many traumas that you have and how many that you're willing to actually bring up and acknowledge. Yeah. So if you actually want to talk to me about that at some point, please let me know, and I can help you organise that. But if you're working with somebody already and you feel that person is a good fit with you, then stay with that person and embrace what they've got to offer in helping you get through that. But no, I think it's commendable, and good on you for doing so. And Spirit says to me with open arms, thank you for trusting. Okay, because it's a big move. Yeah. Just let me know how you feel with that, Lisa. That'd be wonderful. Okay. Teresa, my lovely friend, Teresa, I haven't seen you for ages. Any messages for you? Well, my love, you need to stop thinking of other people. That sounds horrible, doesn't it? I say that with respect. It's about, Teresa, it's about acknowledging you for who you are to the table, but sometimes you just give too much. And because you give too much all the time, you don't leave much for yourself. I know how much of a wonderful person that you are, having met you. And yeah, I just feel more so too, while COVID was going on, there seems to have been a bit of restriction around what you could actually do, what you could embrace for yourself. And I think that there's fallen through the ropes there, that you kind of didn't think you could do so much for you, or to be able to, I don't know, to be able to go to the center or go to whatever, to be able to help, who you could. I think that was maybe off bounds possibly for a little while, although I think you could have still gone there. However, there seems to have been some upheaval around that, and in doing so, it was more about you kind of, instead of embracing that time for you, you kind of like, oh, well, I'll do that for that person because they're upset, and I'll do that for that person, and I'll help them, and I'll do that for, and all these doing this business. Looks like I'm Star Wars in here. Sorry, off track. But it's doing all that for others that you haven't come back to you and gone, do you know what? What do I need to do for me? Because there's a couple of things you need to do for yourself before you can really go around and continue to help people to the degree that you're doing. I know you can just tone it down a little bit just so you get back on track, because you've got a lot going on up here. Like this seems to be very, very busy. This seems to be, I won't say confused, but I want to say very unfocused, very very cloudy, and not being able to be so quick in the mind of thinking of answers or thinking of what to do, because this is too much going on in here. So maybe spread that out a bit and kind of go, do you know what? And like me when I say, I can't help everybody in one night, neither can you. But you don't seem to stop and smell the roses too much that you would tell someone else to do, you. So I hope that helps a little for you. And if you're needing any further clarification, please let me know. Okay. No problem, Lisa. I hope it helped you. I'm just... Sorry, I'm just seeing what's on the bottom. Just scrolling down just to make sure I've got no trolls, but finally I've got a whole... Wow. Okay. Okay. Janina, hello, gorgeous. And I saw Mel here a little while ago too. I don't know if Mel's still here. Janina, my soul sister. She's working tonight as well. Good for you. I knew we had another troll. Hello, Paulus. Good to see you back, Paulus. I haven't seen you for a little while, but welcome back. I miss you, and I hope you're well. Here's my gorgeous friend. I knew I saw his name earlier. You asking me on here about my birthday? Oh, you're a cheeky bugger. Cheeky, cheeky, cheeky. But I love you. I love you. I hope you're well. I hope everything's going okay, because I'm always going to be here for you. In many, Anthony, I've said it till the cows come home. Any way I can ever help to listen, to guide, to do whatever, I'm just a phone call away. I've known you for far too long. I think I don't know, what was I, 15, 14 and a half, whatever, at the time. And because you've asked that question, that's probably going to get me to say this. Next Tuesday is actually my birthday, and so I'm not sure if I'll be doing a live next Tuesday. I do have a bit on. Well, Danina and I are going away on the Thursday night and the Friday, so we'll be celebrating then. Tuesday itself, I don't know what I'm doing. So if I'm doing nothing, I still may come on, but then I might expect all you guys to be wishing me happy birthday instead of me doing readings. But I certainly don't expect that in a million years. So I may swap days next week to do the live, but just keep a lookout, or tick the box on my page of get notifications or whatever, and whenever I set it up, you'll get the notification of when it's going to be on. So it still could be the Tuesday night, because you never know. I'm so unloved. Men don't love me. Oh, sorry, Anthony, I don't mean you. No, so no one has swept me off my feet since I dissolved. Let's say dissolved a partnership. Nobody has swept me off my feet to kind of say, hey, I need to spend time with you to be in your company. So, Anthony, if you want to take my arm and surprise me on Tuesday night, I would be more than happy to embrace that, because I love you dearly. Anyway, moving on. Enough time for Anthony. Let me have a look at this. Alison, I did say that I would get to you, and I'm sorry it's taken so long. I know you messaged me earlier, and yeah, and so here we go. Okay. Because my legal hat's just kind of jumped on board because of the way you've written abuse from landlords, you can report those people. I know you're going to probably tell me you already have. However, I actually want to say to you that more needs to be done. More direct. How do I say? More direct, not necessarily complaining, but more direct reports have to be done, because you have rights as well. So I'm just going to take that off screen for a moment because it's just too big. Yeah. So, but be very careful with your wording though, because that could land you in hot water, so to speak. But I actually want to say to you, I mean, you're asking, where and when, because there's not much around, because you've come into, I actually don't know where you live, but it's come into anywhere. It's come into the busy season of it being warm, and of course, properties to buy, properties to rent are kind of all going up for grabs. So things were quiet on the market through COVID because nobody was allowed to go looking. So nobody was allowed to go out. So nobody could actually go and really look at properties and look at, changing transactions and all sorts of things. So there was a bit of a lull there. And of course, now that they kind of open the doors where you can actually go and look, and all places can go up for auction and people can actually go to them and all that sort of stuff, you've had this influx. Because it's well, in Sydney anyway, in Australia, it's come into really good weather. So everyone's kind of like chanting at the bit to get to either close to water, close to lakes, close to transport, all this sort of stuff. This is what you're up against at this time. And I know this is probably not the best news for you because you're saying you need to relocate ASAP. I can't make things happen. I can't. I wish I could sometimes. I wish I could wave my magic wand or get on my broomstick, whichever, and just make certain things happen. But unfortunately, because of COVID, and nobody was able to virtually swap transactions or go and buy this or rent this or whatever the case may be, it's kind of now made the market over swimming with people wanting to do this, and you're one of those people. I have to be perfectly honest, because Spirit isn't even showing me that you're closing one door to open the other, and I was waiting to hopefully see that from Spirit, but I'm not actually seeing it. Yes, yeah, so, I mean, Spirit is virtually saying to tread very, very carefully, but to keep your eye out. Okay, where are we going? To keep your eye out. Somebody might have a small place that's not your cup of tea, but might get you out of harm's way, so to speak, before you find something of substance. So that's where Spirit is taking me. So I don't know that you know anybody that might have, I don't know, a small flathead or something, in the back of their place or something to that degree. It seems to be like a semi-attached something or other to somebody's home, that someone all of a sudden says, hey, I have this, if you want to kind of store a lot of stuff, so you can kind of put a small amount in and wait till you find something a bit better. Because to me, to find, I don't like to say forever home because it won't be forever, but to find somewhere decent, to have the room that you need, I actually don't see that, to be honest, to wow, kind of like mid-April. But I do see earlier in the piece that someone, and Spirit's not, Spirit is pointing to the 21st. Now, I don't think that's the 21st of December. 21 backwards is 12. I don't see it being December, though, because it's too close to Christmas. But Spirit are pointing me to 21, and it is going to be something that's either semi-attached to someone that you know is home, and it could be like someone being an acquaintance of someone that you know, not necessarily someone that you know, if that makes sense. So it's like the universe is trying to get your back, but trying, or I know it's really hard for me to say, to get you to try and not, worry and stress so much, because you already are. You're already in the thick of that. But Spirit is saying just to calm, a bit more calmer, you will start thinking outside the square, and you will start kind of working out who that person might be that, it will come across a conversation where you'll talk to someone and you'll kind of only elaborate a little bit, and it's someone that they know that has something that can just be on offer for a short period of time, yeah? And that's what I see. So I'm hoping the 21 is December, because that, as I said, backwards, that's 12. So I'm hoping that's December. If not, it is January. So that mightn't be the best news that you want to hear, because still the 21st of December and January are a bit far off, given that you've said that you had to relocate ASAP. But either way, I hope that you will kind of be guided by that, and work out how you can kind of not use that to your advantage, but to work out possibly where you could go with that. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be someone who repeats themselves by saying, everybody, please like and share the page. The more you want to share it and so forth to any groups or anyone, the chances are higher. I like to see sharers, because it's kind of gratitude. You're sharing it out there to people who may need some help in life, and it means that you're a nice person and you're keen. You're keen to keep the flow of all this going for everybody, which is wonderful. So who have I got here? Jenny. I had news today that I may need major surgery to fix 2 problems. I'm still trying to process, as it has many years since I've needed any serious intervention. I wonder if I'm worrying out of hand. Jenny, I actually want to say to you, I don't know whether I'd call it worrying out of hand. But yeah, the person who, and obviously a GP or a specialist, has said that, you may, these are the operative words, you may need major surgery to fix 2 problems. So without having the actual words of you have to have surgery next month, or you have to have surgery next week, or whatever the case may be, you are allowing your subconscious to kind of fly with that. And with flying with it, it kind of takes it to a place of your anxieties will grow very, very quickly with this. I actually want to say to you, if at any point the specialist says, I have to do this because these 2 problems are getting worse, and without it, you kind of, Spirit says it in wonderful ways, you're kind of pushing your luck to where that might end up. Well, then it needs careful consideration, but a good amount of consideration, because you've got to get the surgeon or the specialist or whatever to dot all their I's and cross all their T's and explain it all in full. So I believe it will take place, whether you want to call it major surgery or I want to call it effective surgery to correct. Effective surgery to correct any pain or something that's not quite right now will help you for the better. I just feel if one out of the 2, because you're saying 2 problems, one out of the 2 already stops you from doing certain things today. And if one out of the 2 is already doing that, then you're not exploring, you're not You're not embracing everything that life has to offer right now because you can't. So I actually want to say to you, have a good chat to that specialist, or whether it's a surgeon or specialist or whoever, and kind of ask them to weigh up all your pros and cons. Ask them, if you don't have it, what does that entail? What does it entail in full anyway? But also, too, what does it entail if you have it? And see if you can start evaluating that now and work out your choices now. Yeah. As I said, I feel that it's better that you do, because I just see it correcting the problems, and I just see you being freed up a lot more, and freed up a lot more to do more of what you want to do than what you can do today. And to me, that would be a good thing. Yes, there'll be a recovery period, but I don't think it's going to be long recovery. Yes, some recoveries take a few weeks. And what's a few weeks when it's going to correct something that, you've got the rest of a lifetime to enjoy, yeah? Because at the moment, you're not enjoying things to the fullest. And I say that with respect. And without being able to enjoy it, it's getting you down a bit. And I think that you're saying no more than you're saying yes. Okay, so maybe have a look at that. Maybe explore that a bit further, and let me know how your thoughts on that go with that. Yeah, because that would be fabulous. I hate these. I hate these trolls. There's another one. Of course, there's another one. There's always going to be another one. Anyone, just as I said earlier in the piece, Ms Tique, myself, because I'm the one and the same, I always work on my own. So anyone that gives you these, inbox me for an accurate reading, blah, 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 they are all trolls, I believe. Okay, something here. I don't know what happened there. Something bizarre happened there. Yeah, there just seems to, I believe, from what Facebook tells me, they're from Nigeria or something or other, and yeah, got nothing better to do. Nothing better to do than disrupt. But that's okay. I've just blocked a couple of them, so hopefully we won't see too many more. Oh, isn't that sweet? Paulus, thank you. I do hope everything is well with you. See, when I scroll down to block the trolls, it doesn't let me go back up, which is really annoying. Really annoying. Okay. Sorry I have asked that before, but couldn't remember what you told me. Okay, I was hoping it was coming soon. It's not really about money. It's about the fact that there's nothing in the area big enough for us all. Yeah, possibly. But I still heard that, if you've got pennies left over, save them rather than spend them. So I did hear that early, in the reading. And I'm not here to say that you spend too much money on things that aren't worth it. It was more a little joke that Spirit was having with you, in the sense of, I know years ago, when a lot of people got paid their wages in cash, they'd separate. They'd put the cash on the desk. And I'd go, this is for rent or mortgage or whatever. This is for this bill, and this is for this bill. And oh, look, I've got $20 left over. So what am I going to do with that? Yeah, plan a night out. This is, kind of a joke in saying, whatever you've got left over, put it towards something that can be of value. But also too, like I wondered, was it your reading that they said six above? I just wonder where that is. Yeah. Oh God, another one. Okay. Okay. There is a few trolls tonight. This one's a new one. So yeah, get rid of these people. Thank you, Anthony. Am I not putting you to sleep? Reading your bedtime story? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know you respect everything I do, and you always have, which is really wonderful. Because there's some people that have mocked me for what I do in my lifetime, but you're one that has stood by me for a very long time. So I thank you for that. And as I said before, I love you dearly. So thank you. Joanne, I'm new here from the Philippines. Welcome. Welcome from the Philippines. Would love some guidance, please, and thank you. Joanna, I kind of always ask people if they could send like a specific question, because it's really hard to do general readings on live feeds, because it can be so many directions that I could go, and then you kind of go, you're sitting back there going, oh, I really wanted to know about this and it never came up. So that's why I say to people, like, give me a specific question. In saying that, I will quickly say to you that you are certainly stuck in what I call crossroads, or like I kind of see you in a career that isn't progressing. I think you're getting frustrated with that. It's more about, what do I do if I stay? I'm not gonna excel at what I want to do, because they're kind of holding me back to a degree. But if I say something, they could get angry and all this stuff. So I see some frustration there with your work. Please send me another message and let me know whether you want me on the work path, or you wanted something else in particular. But I see that you're struggling with a couple of things. So I just want to find out from you, which is the most important that you need to know about right now. But I'm actually drawn towards the work one, because I just feel that your frustrations are building and building each week, and you're kind of not knowing which way to go. And I actually want to say to you that a lot of there's not a lot around. There's not a lot of money around where you are. There's not a lot of people spending as such, and it's like they don't have it to spend. And I think that wherever you are, they're kind of holding back. I love it. Spirit keeps talking in pennies tonight. Pennies haven't been around for that long. I don't know why they keep talking in pennies, but it's like that companies are holding on to their pennies as well. Yeah. And it just seems like you're not at the moment able to grow and become a better version of you while the money is a bit tight. Yeah. So I feel that there's a bit of being taken for granted. But yeah. I have no idea what that message is. Christy, can you send me a specific question, please? Because I'm not quite sure what you. Anyway, I just kind of need to know if you want something specific answered. Oh my God, there's another one. What a waste of bloody time. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. There's 5 been on here tonight, 5 trolls, which I'm just trying to get rid of. The next one I just saw, because if I put them straight through to Facebook while I'm blocking them, Facebook can see how many times they've done whatever, and then they will get onto them and delete their accounts and all sorts of things. So I just have to run with what they've told me. And to try and block them as soon as I see them. So that's what I've done on a couple of them. Okay, Paul, is there any messages from Spirit Country, please? I like the way you say that, Spirit Country. I like that. Is it all right for me to say that you're rather a cheeky chap? The Spirit says, but sometimes said where others take offence instead of, oh, I got these same 3 cards earlier. And I just shuffled them too. So Spirit is kind of taking me down a wonderful path this evening. Sorry, Paul, I digressed a bit there because I've just got same cards as before. I actually want to say to you, with your cheekiness, sometimes it can get you into trouble. Sometimes people don't know how to take you the right way. Sometimes you say things when the other person isn't in the right mood to embrace your cheekiness. I won't say just be mindful of that, because if I say that, it will mean that you're changing the true you. I don't want you to. I don't want anyone to change the real you, but I guess it's more about trying to be a little bit more mindful, and possibly listening to your gut to kind of, for you to work out where people are sitting. Certainly, if you're going to a party and you walk into a room and you want to liven that up, sure, get up there and be the life of the party, because it wouldn't be too hard for you to do. But there's sometimes that people are in a room and you're in there with, say, just one other person, and you've kind of gone, well, this other person, I'll tell this other person a joke type thing, and yeah, they kind of go, who are you? Like, why did you just do that? So I guess I want to say that there's some times of late where you've had what I call, because I have it myself sometimes too, is foot and mouth disease, where I say things before I really think about it, or I don't read the situation. That's funny coming from me. You don't read the situation the right way and blurt something out. Having said that, I think it's a fabulous quality, because it just shows people that you are you and that you're not frightened of being you. But I do hear from an elderly woman. She's not your mum. I didn't mean that with any disrespect at all either. I actually want to say more of an auntie that I believe, because she's not showing me the traits of a grandma. She's not showing me the traits of a great grandma, but she's certainly not showing me traits of a mum either. So I actually want to take that to the side and say it's an auntie, but an auntie that spent some time with you in your teenage years, and oh God, okay, clipped you behind the ear a few times. So, which I think is quite funny when spirit shows me things like that, because then I go, oh, I get an insight into your life, clip behind the ears. And that possibly could have been for your character. But I also want to say that sometimes, sometimes, sorry, this is probably a bit personal. Sometimes speaking wise to your dad was not 100%. So there were some issues between conversations with your dad on a few occasions, and I guess the spoken word from both parties wasn't great. And henceforth, from there, I think you lost some respect for your dad because of some of the things that he said. But you gave as much back as what you were given, although you got in trouble for it. But that was your personality. Like, you give back what you're given. You always have. And that made you that cheeky boy type thing that others, as I said, others can handle it and some others can't. But it's more about who I believe is your auntie, who I have to say also too was a lover of yellow, because there were some certain things that she wore. And back in, wow, I don't like it when spirit says back in the day, because that just sounds like so far, so long ago. But back when she was younger, apparently yellow wasn't the flavor of the color to wear, but she kind of had this flair about her that was able to embrace bright colors, and she was able to wear bright colors very, very well. And she wasn't afraid to show her personality. And I also want to say to her, that's why she understood you, because she understood your personality and where you're going with it. So I'm hoping all this makes sense, because it's kind of coming through thick and fast. But I actually want to say to you that from her, she believes that you're on the right path, but there is still a few little hiccups to go before you get to the right destination, I want to say there. So there's obviously some money hurdles or something coming up that I'll just rephrase the hurdles to bumps in the road, because they're not hurdles as in mountains. They're sort of like small little hiccups, and that's the way she said it, actually was hiccups that you're going to incur before you get on that smooth path. So I want to say to you that things are looking better and better for you, but it's all about reining in where you know where to speak to people in the right tone, because she's pointing me into the direction of these little bumps in the road can also consist of saying the wrong thing or presenting yourself in a wrong way to a superior. Don't know where that fits in, but I hope it makes a bit of sense. But yeah, it's all about, like, it is still about staying true to you, but just being mindful of where you are with. Sometimes I call it verbal diary, because sometimes I'll just go, okay, Anthony will probably verify that. Sometimes I'll just go to bat out of hell and say 1,000 things in one hit, because A, I need to say it and get it out, and B, because the other person either needs to hear it, or it's a conversation that you just kind of get a bit carried away with you. So that happens to me too. But people will either love us or hate us for who we are anyway. So I always say to people, there's no point changing who you are. If you're comfortable with who you are, then, you need to stay on that path, because why change? Why change just to be accepted by someone? Why? I just don't get that. When couples are together and one party tries to change another and whatnot, then they run into problems because the other one will always resent you for trying so. It's, they were attracted to you for a reason. They loved you for a reason, the way you were. Why do people change you? And there's even friends that you'll have that will embrace what you do, but then they'll be envy of what you do, or they'll be jealous of what you do, and then they'll try and do things to undermine you, and all this sort of stuff. It's just, it just gets out of control. We're attracted to people because of who they are. We're attracted to people because of their personality. We're attracted with chemistry. We're attracted for many, many reasons. I can say to you that I can safely say that I have probably 2 males in my life, and I probably don't see them that very often at all, but I would be happy enough to call those 2 people a soulmate as a friend. Not a soulmate as in an intimate lover and whatever else, but someone that you could really sit down to, someone I could cry in front of to if I had to, somebody I can disclose my deepest, darkest secrets to, somebody that I can just embrace their company. And, sometimes it will even look like flirtyish and whatnot, because you can hold them, you can touch them, you can do whatever, but there's no sexual connotation with it. Do you know what I mean? So when you have a personality that can do that, of course, others can be quite envy of you. So, Paul, you're a bit in, not totally in that kind of limelight, but part of that kind of goes with your personality. So, again, I say, yeah, don't change who you are, but don't also expect everybody to love you for who you are, because that probably won't happen. Speaking from experience, because, that's what happens. Anyway. What else have I got coming up? Oh, young Vicky, hello. No, Teresa. Thank you, my love. I hope you heard what I said before, Teresa. I think you'll embrace certain things out of that, and I think you'll understand exactly where I was heading with it as well. Okay, young Vicky. One of my fab followers from you've been following me since you were introduced to me on Psychic TV a number of years ago, my love. A keen supporter of everything I do. Even sometimes, even though she lives near the Victorian border, at times in the past she's done this. She calls me magical, but she does this magical thing about driving a number of hours to surprise you, which is very, very lovely. So, Vicky, you're a wonderful human being. I actually want to say to you that okay, Dad's taken me on a path of, well, okay, don't do everything for everyone, because there's things you have to do for you and your home. There's a few things you have to sort out, apparently. And okay, I have to be a bit cruel to be kind here. Sorry, love. What's he saying? Things won't fix themselves. And some things you can't fix either. So it's about time. Oh, he's being a bit lectury tonight. It's time you put up your hand and either embrace some help or get some help in. There's a couple of jobs I think that you need doing around the house that you think for yourself, because you're so independent, you think that you actually do them for yourself, but you actually can't. And I think you'll just do the property as well as yourself a bit of damage if you try and do where Dad's pointing me to. So I actually have to say that as he said it. But he's also saying too that you will be able to pay for someone else to do that, yeah? So stop away. Oh, okay. Wow. He's a bit of a lecturer tonight. Stop and think about all the things that you've already done and kind of go, do you know what? I've done all that with pride, and sometimes I actually could have asked for help, but I didn't want to because I knew I'm stubborn and I knew that I could do it myself. However, sometimes you've paid a price. So that I think that's more about sometimes paying a price through injury or soreness or something or other for what you've tried to achieve, yeah? But Dad is virtually saying there's a couple of things that need to be doing. Get someone in to do it because no disrespect to you, but they'll be done professionally and they'll be done far quicker than what you could have done in the first instance, yeah? And also to don't, well, don't go overboard at Christmas. What could they mean, Vicky? What have you got planned? Don't go overboard at Christmas. Where's he going with that? Okay. Okay. Okay, all right. It's wow. Sorry, Dad's pointing the finger tonight. I mean, he's a beautiful man, but he's pointing the finger, and Mum's kind of going, stop, stop, stop. Come back over here. But it's also too about I don't I don't know what COVID's done for anyone's Christmas plans, really, to be quite honest. However, he's directing me to. Don't think you have to do everything for everybody at Christmas. It's about time you sat back and did a simple Christmas for yourself and Mark and enjoyed your present company. And don't be running around after people that wouldn't run around for you. I have no idea what's going on there. So I guess he wants to say, do you know what? You've been, probably cooked up for a while and in one another's faces and stuff like that, and it's probably good to get out there and be with a whole lot of other people and to be able to move around more freer than what I think that you had in the first instance. But don't go, he keeps saying don't go overboard, don't do things for people who wouldn't who wouldn't give you the same courtesy back. So there's obviously a few things gone on there where you've maybe found out a few things about a few people that maybe didn't have your back or that didn't show you the love and everything that you showed them, something to that degree. And I think you've been hurt a little bit too, but he's kind of saying, yes, you forgive quite well, but just don't keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, yeah. Because there's something behind that, and I would probably ask you to maybe let me know what that is. It's a little bit disturbing for me, love. Okay, Jennifer, thank you so much, Ms Tique. Your gift is absolutely amazing. I'll definitely be book with you. Everything you said has been 100% accurate, even with knowing that in 18, 19 months you saw things that went flash. Yeah, look, I'm sorry I had to take you there, Jennifer. It was just that I was showing things. I actually also, just going off you for a sec, Jennifer, I actually want to know anyone on this feed if they have a problem with their left eye, because my eye was perfect. Both my eyes were perfect throughout, but I've all of a sudden got this issue with my left eye, and Spirit normally shows me something that I need to pass on to someone else. If anyone has concerns or anything about a left eye, please write a message on the bottom so I can at least pick up on that. And I'll probably tell the person to go and get it seen to, because it's really annoying me, like really, really annoying me. And so much so that I can't stop touching it, but it just, yeah, anyway. Back to you, Jennifer. It's I was a bit saddened to feel and to sense that at 18 and 19 months old that something definitely had gone on, but also too that sad that a 3-year-old remembers that, and that may be disrupting a few things that we're trying to grow. But yeah, I think I'm sure be fine, because you as the guider of light and all that sort of stuff, and you'll make sure he's on the right path. And by the time he gets to kind of 5 and 6, if it's still continued, where he was maybe seeing images or not being able to get certain things out of his mind, then yes, kids can be seen, for sure. Even at 4, they can be seen to be able to embrace, to elaborate, to maybe draw some of their visions and all this sort of stuff, to pull some of that out. Yeah. Because I just think that needs to kind of get in there as well. Yeah. Okay. Denny, thank you. I appreciate the congratulations. It's been a bit overwhelming, but yeah, it's been fabulous. Nita, I know. I've had 5, I think, tonight, 5 or 6 tonight. But it is what it is. I can only try and control. Well, I can't try and control it, but I can try and get rid of them as quickly as I can and shoot them off to Facebook. So yeah, Ty, thank you so much. Yeah, Breezer, hello, my love. I hope you're well. Okay, not likely. Don't be so rude. Well, I guess everyone's been messaged by the trolls. Yeah. As I said, like I have found 5. If there's any more, please just don't bother responding to them, and I will, later on, I will look for them. I will try and do what I can so they're not in here next time. But it is just the way it is, unfortunately. Many people's lives just get hit with them. Thank you so very, very much. I hope, yeah. Okay, I don't know why this came up in my feed, but I feel like it was meant to be. I think I needed to see this. I feel like I was drawn here. Yeah, I think so too, Lisa. I mean, it might have, somebody might have shared it and it come up with you or whatnot, and but I truly hope I have helped you. And as I said, that's why I tell people to like and share the feed, because when they do, like yourself, like you weren't automatically coming into this to this live, but you saw something, you came in, you asked a question, I've responded, and you're meant to be here. Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Diane. Hello, my dear friend Adelaide. How are you? I hope you are well. I have not heard from you for a long time. Everyone's been in lockdown, and I believe you guys copped another few today. But yeah, I hope everything's okay with you, and I hope things are going fine. Hope all is well with you. Yeah, Paulus, it's going pretty okay, but lots of things going on. Yeah. Joanne, I'm blocking them and reporting them at the same time, so it's all good. Yes, please don't message any of these people back. As I said, Ms Tique, I work on my own. So if a message comes from me, then it's me responding to you. But otherwise, I do not have anyone else working for me at all, and I don't ask people to to send you a message or whatnot. These are just trolls. So just ignore them. Just ignore them, and we'll kind of go past them. Okay, Paula's, yeah, everything's going fine. Thank you, my love. Yeah, COVID's been a bit shit, but we're all in the same boat, so I hope you're well as well. Paula's, don't apologise. It's okay. Look, I know you're busy, and all is well. Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm back again. Don't you love it? Oh, of course I love it, Dean. Of course I love it. Where is my career going? What will it be and when? Okay. My love, when we talk about your career, now you've got more than one thing up your sleeve. I actually want to say to you with all honesty, I think there's about 4 different things that you could do at a drop of a hat tomorrow if you wanted to. However, the path you're on right now has, and with respect, the path that you're on right now, or the path, how do I say this, the path that you're investigating, oh God, who's got this problem in their eye? The path that you're investigating right now will bring you, it will bring you a lot of joy if you can understand that this path has led you elsewhere for a reason. So I actually want to say to you that a couple of things that you have in your mind to do, I kind of see that you split, because I kind of see that crossroad that I would normally say to people that you got to walk this way and go into this realm, or walk this way and go this way. But with you, I think that you're stuck right in the middle with 2 different things. And I guess we'll explore that far greater at another time. I believe this Saturday is it? But okay, I actually want to say to you that Dad with hand on heart wants you to follow your passion, not what you believe is right. That's really weird. So, because what you believe is right now, I want to say is what you're passionate about. But Dad says, hand on heart, follow your passion, follow your desire, follow where you know you're putting your heart and soul into everything. Okay. So as I said, there's a couple of things, because I still see you on this virtually like, on the edge, looking, going, oh, I wouldn't mind going over there. Oh, I wouldn't mind going over there as well. You can't, you can do both. The 2 things that you've got your eye on, you can do both. However, when I say that you can do both, one will kind of suffer a little bit because you're putting more focus onto the other, if that makes sense. And you kind of feel that you can give both 50-50 each, but you actually can't. You kind of give 160, 140, and then a few months out, it'll go like 70-30, and you'll end up being kind of a bit cranky with yourself, or you'll kick yourself that you chose to do both at the exact same time, instead of what Dad's saying, hand on heart, follow your passion, and the passion will take you where you need to go. I just feel that you already know, and seeking clarification is great, but I think you know where your passion lies. I think that you're, with all due respect, I think there's a little bit of fear base behind it, like a bit of oh, if I take that leap of faith, what if I fail? Well, my answer to that is, but what if you fly? Don't ever think that you're going to fail, because in hindsight, if something doesn't come off for us in life, it's not about failing, it's about learning and experience. There's no right or wrongs, there's no fail. I hate it when people say, I failed at this, or I failed this subject. It's a learning curve. If you think you haven't done very well at something, well, ask yourself, what did you learn by it? Because when you ask yourself, what did you learn by it, you seek that answer, and then you embrace that answer and you do something about it. And that's what it's all about. I have to, I have to kind of go, yeah, I don't want to tell you you're exactly on the right path, because I want you to go through that feeling of embracing that full passion, embracing kind of going, do you know what? It is a leap of faith, because I have something here where it's guaranteed, and here is a bit of the unknown. But if you don't reach for the unknown, you're never going to know what that's like, yeah? And I think you know what I'm talking about. And, if we need to go through that more, then we shall, yeah? Diane, my love, are my mum and dad around me? Look, mum and dad are always there. I want to say to you that probably, I don't know why the number 4 is significant, but I'm hearing 4. So I want to say probably 4 months ago, there was I think it was more of a night than a day. Yeah, I think it was a nighttime. Something happened. Some thought process went to. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and excuse me for saying it on a live feed. But yeah, you went to a really dark place, which is why I'm obviously being shown night. Your thought process, and again, with respect, it was like your self-worth just took a dive. Something happened where you just. Whew, and your thought processes overnight, and that have, I want to say, that have lingered. It's kind of like from a few years that you worked so hard to go forward, if that makes sense. And Mum wants to say, remember the pink, and remember the, I don't know where this is going. Remember the saying about pink. I guess with that, without knowing what that is, I guess I want to say there that pink being girl, remember the saying about pink, is it something about, we can be more girlish if we want to. We don't always have to portray this pillar of strength. It's lovely to have the pillar of strength, as often as you can, but we don't always have to portray it. Yeah. I'm an extremely strong person, but I can say, hand on heart, there are times, when I'm here, if I don't want to show my strength, there's nobody here that's going to see that. You have to. It's not about letting your guard down, but if you need to release some tears or some fear or anything to that degree, allow it to happen, allow it to flow, because otherwise you're just holding it in all the time. And if you're expected, like most people expect me to be strong 24/7, and man, I am strong. I'm a very strong, independent person, but I can actually honestly say that not 24/7, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. I'm not always that person. Yes, my, image will always show that, and of course it will. But there are times, when you go through something that, you have to release some tension. You have to release some sadness. You have to release, it's only human. So, but Mum is kind of saying this pink thing. She keeps coming back to this pink thing where it's okay to be a bit girlier than norm, and it's okay to kind of sit and be sad, but give it okay, your mum's going in a path where I teach people. It's going to sound weird after I've said, sometimes if you just want to, sit and cry, you can. But she's kind of saying, give it a time frame. Like if you want to cry over something, no, actually, I want to put crying to the side, Mum. I'm not disrespectful. I just want to put crying to the side for the moment. If you're angry about something, and this is what I love to teach, if you're angry about something, give yourself a time limit. Allow yourself to be angry for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then put it in the cupboard. Seriously. Because if you don't give yourself a time limit, you'll waste the whole day, the whole week being angry or being upset or whatever the case may be. So if you can give them time limits, it means that you're in control and you're going to take ownership of that. Yeah. But if you need to be sad, like, if it's something about losing someone and there's some grief and all that sort of stuff, well, then we can't really put a time limit on, which is why I wanted to move sad to the side, because that will be embraced in your own time. So no one can tell you that. But Mum, I want to know, has Mum given you something pink, or do you have something that, or a conversation that she's had around pink? Because it just seems to be from Mum so significant. I mean, I know there's that saying, pretty in pink. And is it because I said pretty in pink? Is it a color that you don't wear, that you may have to look at wearing to bring out the sunshine, to bring out some fun in you, because you've been through a rough trot, my sweet. So I hope everything is okay, and how that sits with you. Okay. Okay. Gemini, I didn't see your reply. I'm not sure if it's in my. I will look in pituitary gland. That's it, yes. And I'm totally over it at the moment. 2 years and not diagnosed. Looking towards kidneys at the moment as blood and protein in my urine. Okay. Also had was swollen with fluid. Also, is my pop okay? Recently passed. Pop is fine. Pop wants you to know that there's times when you don't feel him, but I actually want to say that he's around you more often than not, and I want to direct you to something that you have in your hallway. Something you have in your hallway or at the end of a hallway on a stand. I'm not sure if it's a picture of Pop. I'm not sure if he's taking me for a wander in your home, or if you go down go in your hallway, you kind of come to a corner and go around to the left. I feel there's a picture or something of his in there, or something that's recently left behind with him. So he's with you more often than not, my love. So I hope that helps. Thank you. I'm enjoying your business names. I'm going to call the police, whoever they are, the type of people that will seek revenge. Oh, okay. I'm not taking that lightly, Alison. It was more about. It's not always about calling the police, because also to their landlords, and you would have had to sign probably a rental agreement or something of such to be renting from them. So you can always call. Who can you call? Let's put my thinking cap on. Department of Fair Trading might be okay to say that you're paying rent to people, and but you're being mistreated. They might look into that, or in fact you're ombudsman, because the police is not the answer. And I totally get it. That yes, they will seek revenge, and that's kind of not worth it. But you have to be smart about it, yeah. So I hope that helps. Sorry, everyone. I'm just going down the list to make sure that I don't have any other stalkers. Oh, not stalkers. Forgive me, stalkers. No, trolls. Was just sitting back listening. Was wondering if I do have a career change close by. If so, what would it be? Thanks always. I love your warmth and sincerity, Dean. Dean, thank you. I'm not sure if you heard what I was saying before when I popped your other question up. With what I was saying with that career change, not necessarily career change, but the two areas where you think you can do both and you can't. But I want to say to you that we will obviously a lot deeper conversation about that. For memory, I think you're booked in for Saturday, so I have to double check that. Danini, you're finished at 9:39, and I've only seen that message at 10:07. Good for you, my love. I hope you had a wonderful night. Okay. Paul, I don't know what you're kind of writing here. Thanks, haven't you? Great. God love you. Oh, it's funny. See, there's your quirky sense of humor, and putting it on 3 different lines. Anyway. Danina, are you telling me that you've been blocking those trolls for me, or are you telling me that you're blocked by someone? I don't know. I think if I can see your message, it's probably that you're going through and helping me block them, so thank you. Vicky, yes, a kitchen and a bathroom, people coming up for a delayed Christmas dinner on New Year's Day night, doing nothing for Christmas Day this year. He's referring to the USA and some people here. Okay. All right, Vicky. I kind of thought that you knew where I was going, but it was funny because I don't think I've ever had your dad come through pointing the finger at me. So when he was pointing the finger at me and he was getting quite serious, it was like he was trying to lecture. And I thought, oh, you don't normally lecture as such. So yeah, oh my goodness, who has got the problem with the eyes? Seriously, guys. Okay, so somebody, I'm just listening to Spirit at the same time. I have to explain it this way. The pain I get where I have to grab my eye is like a knife going through it. I'm serious when I say that. And Spirit is also saying somebody on here, but apart from anyone having an issue with an eye that obviously needs some treatment, or whether someone is denying themselves that they need glasses, but because they're a bit vain. Sorry, I had to say that. You know, for years I never thought I'd wear glasses, and now I can't live without them. Because the longer you leave it, the more issue you will have later. But what I also want to say to you guys that are watching right now, if there is someone that feels like they're getting stabbed in the back, please put your hand up. Because I think there's a very big message in that. Okay. Oh, thank you, sweet. Thank you so much. And here we go, just as I say that, like, I'm seeing some of these. If it's an itch with your left eye, I have it. And I've had for a while now. It's not an itch, Donna. It's actually a pain. It feels like stabbing. Thank you for telling me that. But I don't know what's wrong with yours. An itch is far better than like the stabbing pain I get in it. And Kim's got one with a right eye. No, don't wish both of them on me. I couldn't stand that. Okay, here's someone else. I've had left eye cataract done a couple of months ago and having some trouble with focus, etc. Debbie, let me know if you get a stabbing pain in it. Because it's driving me nuts. I've been worried about my dad's left eye. Has got nerve damage in his neck, been affecting his left eye. That could be it, because I was also pressing earlier on. I was pressing on the back part of the left side of my neck. But that actually made me feel a bit sick and the squeezy in the tummy more than anything. Oh, look at you lot go. You're all jumping on it. I've had a bit of an ache in my left arm. I have been forgetting things for the past week and a half. Oh, Rob, forgetting things? Oh, you can't be forgetting things. The ache behind a left eyelid. Let me know if it goes up on your eyebrow and above as well. Because I want to touch on that if I can. My left eye swells up without fail for 3 days every fortnight. Has been doing this for 5 years. Wow. That's extraordinary. I don't know who was coming through for you before, Teresa. Who was giving me those messages before. So let me have a ponder. I just want to get through a few of these, because I'm looking at, I've been on 2 hours and 12, and I normally only want to do 2 hours. So I just want to quickly have a look down. I think my message got bypassed because of the trolls. Do you ever see me owning my own home, please and thank you, Paula? I want to say to you that I do see it, but I don't see it for. I have to be honest. I don't see it for a little while longer. And when I say a little while longer, that's not a couple of months. I hate to be the bearer of bad news if I said a couple of years, but I don't. I don't think the total amount of money is there right now. But also, too, I want to say to you that I don't think you've actually seen anything that you like either. So they've kind of gone both hand in hand. But I'd be very mindful of, I'm just also hearing, too, that if you went to applied for a home loan, you actually wouldn't get it through some technicality. So that's not about your credit rating at all. So please don't take that the wrong way. It's got to do with something about a technicality. But I think if I hadn't told you that, you would actually get quite offended when someone would tell you that. So you need to be mindful of that. And if someone did that in the next 6 to 8 months, I wouldn't be offended about it. I would just sort of say, do you know what? When your computers are working a bit better, I'll come back and have another chat. It's more about that, yeah? So there seems to be something around there. I don't actually see this probably going on for 18 months. I have to be 100%, well, I am 100% when I say things anyway, but I need you to understand, though, that it's not really the right time to be, getting out there. And parts of the finance, people will say it probably is, but I actually want to say it's not, only because of the warmer weather always attracts higher money. So if you're selling, it's great because you get a higher return. But if you're buying at the same time, you're paying a lot more for something else. So it kind of doesn't work out that way. So I actually want to say, because it is nice weather, that things have already started to jump. And also, unfortunately, because of COVID, that now, you've got the people coming out and sort of saying, well, we've been doing it for a while. So I wonder what's going to, come for us now. So they kind of put, big top dollar on things all the time because somebody just might pay it, yeah? So, 18 months to me is not a long time to also get some back-ended funds as a backstop into your account, as well as it just seems to me that you need to have a bit of a backup in everything that you do. But yeah, as I said, 18 months. But yeah, just have a good feel around with, what the market's doing, how much people are some people in some areas are just really overpricing. I just want you to be careful with that because I don't want you to spend money that's actually not necessary. Yeah. Yeah. So Paul, I hope that helps you. Okay, where am I going? Okay. Okay. I am going to start wrapping it up. Because I can't stand my eyeball anymore. I knew you were, Dean. I knew you were. But you're definitely still sitting in that what I like to call crossroads. But normally when you're at crossroads you can see clearly which way you want to go. But yeah. Thanks, Judy. Not a problem. Just let me know, and we'll sort that out. Okay. I think you're going to go right with everything that you said. Thank you so much, Diane. Let me know if you actually want to book in for a read. Can you also let me know what the pink was? Because Mum was being rather vague with the pink. So if you can let me know what the pink was, that'd be fabulous. Okay. Okay, another troll. Look, I just want to say to everybody before I really start wrapping things up is that sorry, I was just reading a bit more. I want to say to a few of you, I always thank you for jumping in and spending the Tuesday nights with me. It's been really, really fabulous, and I'm just drawn to this. Sorry, I'm amazed at how easy this comes to you. I'm mesmerised. I really, really need some guidance with my marriage as I'm in turmoil over it. Melissa, I think there's a lot more than meets the eye with you. And I don't mean that with disrespect at all. I just mean that there's so much going on with your marriage that I think that there's a lot of things that have been said and a lot of things that can't be unsaid. But there's also a lot of things that need to be said. So there's a spirit like taking me down this path of, two people sitting, at one another, facing one another, virtually in a room, kind of going, you'll go, you'll go, you'll go, you'll go. And there's tit for tat. Like, I have to be honest, there's tit for tat. There's so much angst. There is so much anxiety. There's so much that's, I want to say, a little bit questionable. There's some that you're not believing. And when you're not believing, it's causing like a bigger rift, I want to say there. And there's a whole lot to sort out there. So, it's it's kind of good in a way that you can address it in a public forum, but there, I'm just wondering if there is any chance that, you know, both of you would look at, you know, speaking with a counsellor as such to nut out, is this the image I'm being shown with, you know, two of you facing one another in a room, you know, just being able to kind of speak and maybe have a mediator in the middle to kind of go, hey, you know, you can't speak like that, you know, like talk openly in a way about your problems with, but again, there's a mediator in there, being a marriage counsellor or just a counsellor or whatever the case may be. But it seems to me that that can nut out a bit of the uncertainty, a bit of the angst that you've got. It may not be the solution though, because you may hear things where you might be quite surprised about, and he might hear stuff from you where he goes, wow, I didn't even know that was an issue. So there seems to be some I'll have to say it as I hear it, crappy communication that's gone on, and kind of spirit sort of saying to me, well, why don't you try and sit in a room and get some clarity around some of the crap communication? But I'm not sure that you actually want to do that. I'm not sure where you're at a point where you're kind of going, do you know what? I've had enough of this. So it depends on what point you're at as to whether you will successfully be able to listen fully and listen with a proper open ear, to be able to like engage and take on board everything that is being said. But yeah, let me know how you go with that. Let me know what you think about sorry, speaking to someone professional, because yeah, it just excuse me, just seems to be, parts of it seem like there could be hope, and then parts of it seem like when things have been said that can't be unsaid, there's a bit of dilemma there. Okay. And I just wanted to remind people of the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve show that I will do. I'm really, really excited with some stock that's coming in. So I've been able to get hold of a few people, actually, so a lot from overseas, that have some fabulous company, whether like, you know, makeup and a bit of jewelry and a bit of this and a bit of that, and maybe if Lisa's still watching, a bit of candles and whatnot. Lisa, that was on earlier, owns the company called Enjoy Candles, and they are candles that aren't lit. They're candles that are on my budget, but they look so real. They're absolutely divine. So maybe she can come on board and add some of those to some of my present wraps or gift baskets that I will do. But I just wanted to let everybody know that virtually leading up to that, because Christmas and New Year is not that far away. So in the next 2 weeks, I will be, and as I said, I may not be on next week, excuse me, due to my birthday. It's a big one. But I actually wanted to say, in all seriousness, because of what I'm trying to do to create something wonderful for people that may be on their own for Christmas or New Year, or just people that are struggling through, you know, COVID and stuff like that, or people that I know that will be watching that have been involved in domestic violence. Because of that, I'm actually going to ask people, whether it's from the next live feed or the one after, that if they like and share my page, and they can let me know that they have, and I can see that they have, I will actually put their name in a, what do you want to call it, a basket, a hat, a barrel, whatever you want to call it. And that would be every single week. And then I will be drawing some of those at Christmas and New Year. I think that's a really fair way of trying to do that, because we are sharing the love. We are sharing it with people, as I said, that may not watch it tonight, for instance, like on tonight's feed, but they may watch it in a couple of days' time, and they might get something out of a read that they know was not meant for them, but the scenario could have been a little bit different. So the responses could, you know, relate to them in some way. So I'm trying to get across the board into helping as many people as I can, which is why I always enjoy coming on and doing the live feeds. It's why I love, you know, touching on many subjects. It's why, you know, I love my spirit work, and I you know, love what I can bring to the table, so to speak. And I know that I have some very passionate viewers, you know, who respect what I do. And yeah, Now I'm kind of getting attacked in the throat as well. So Spirit is really kind of playing a bit of havoc tonight and showing me a few things that people may have on this feed. So yeah, Nita, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know what I think about that. You know how I feel that you were being used in your employer. Okay. 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 Sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments because everyone's kind of commenting about the eye again. Yeah. It's bizarre, isn't it, Debbie? Like, it's just anyway. Wow. That really is bizarre. Okay. Awesome. Alrighty, as I said, I'm gonna finish it up for tonight. I know you've all been wonderful, and I have appreciated everything that everyone has been saying. I appreciate everybody jumping on. And as I said, I try and get to everybody that I can. Time just goes so very, very quickly. And when you're connected with spirit for more, well, it's now 2.5 hours, like all the time, it does kind of get to a point where you just have to stop. And I'm deeply sorry for that if I haven't got to you. And as I said, I do try and get to as many as I can. I think we've got through a fair amount tonight. So again, I appreciate all you jumping in. I appreciate everyone who has liked and shared the feed because then other people get to have a look. Getting back to Christmas and New Year shows, lots of wonderful, and I'm not talking about cheap stuff, so lots of wonderful things coming on board for gifts to give away and whatnot to everybody who will seem to be alone for Christmas and New Year. I couldn't be knowing that there's more than a few of you that are going to have nobody there for Christmas and New Year. So I'm hoping that you guys will embrace Christmas and that with me, with Ms Tique, and a small ask that each week leading up to that of liking and sharing the page, and where I can see that you've done that, and then your name will go into a hat or whatever the case may be, a hat, a barrel, however many names I get, and the more I see it, the more times your name will go in. So lots of fun things that will be happening. So I have already put those 2 events up. And I've even said on there, grab your shampoos and, and if you want to dress up as well as, there might even be a prize in the best dress. How am I going to see that? Well, you might just going to have to send a photo to the feed, or maybe to my inbox or whatever the case may be, so I can see some of that, because that could be a whole lot of fun. And you just never know what may or may not happen. But I feel that it will be fun. I feel that it will help many, and I certainly thank YBF Stacey from YBF Cosmetics, and I have Nick Shabazz, who is America's, New York's most famous hairdresser to the stars. I have him. I have a couple of people in jewelry lines that also look after high-profile celebrities in the United States. I have, what else do I have coming? I might have some floral arrangements from a beautiful company by the name of Peony. That's not guaranteed at this point yet. So there's many things. There'll be crystals. There could be some crystal statues, crystal wands. For people overseas, of course, I can't ship anything big to you guys. So overseas viewers will obviously get some gift vouchers or whatever for some one-on-one private readings with myself. And I might, depending who's free, I might even have some other psychics on board and have a little bit of a psychic party. I haven't quite thought that one out yet. I was just putting that out there. So yeah, if yeah. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to doing it, and I thank all of you for your wonderful comments. I thank all of you who have been on my pages for the last couple of days, who have been sending me some wonderful messages for the awards that I've been granted in the last couple of days, and the ones that I've got coming up in the next week or so as well as. So I'm excited about that. It really does make me smile and my heart sing when when I have entrepreneurs Australia-wide who put my business forward to be nominated and then, of course, made a finalist. So, that's all very exciting. And I want to just, and it's got nothing to do with ego. I just want to say this to anyone out there who is thinking of, doing something with their passion in life. I mean, I'm natural born psychic. I've been talking to spirit since I was 3, and it's only that I decided that, what more can I add to my business to be a little bit different from the rest? And that's when I kind of went, what, I'm going to spend years and years of study, and I'm going to, embrace the counselling side of things, and embrace coaching, embrace psychotherapy, where I can look at, marriage problems, I can look at all sorts of things. And I just wanted to utilise all that so I could put all that together and have Ms Tique as like a wellness centre as such, and using everything in my power to be able to help as many people as I can. So that was always my aim, and to be recognised for that sort of thing is absolutely fantastic. But it's also to proof in the pudding that you can come from absolutely nothing. And I say that with respect. When I first left my ex-hubby in 1994, I had a 3-year-old child and $20 in my wallet and nowhere to live. And I was put through the ringer with the court system. I was still beat up in the street. I was set on fire, all sorts of things. I don't say any of this for sympathy. What I say it for is to kind of let you know that, you can go to hell and back, but when you know that you're on the right path, when you know that you're a good person and you can do the greater good for others, then it becomes so much reality. It becomes your world. It becomes your passion, and you're able to embrace and to get through. Like this, I teach people about the inner warrior. When you kick the inner warrior in, when you kind of say, do you know what, I'm so down and out, I can't do this anymore. That's what I said earlier to someone that I read for. You can't say the word can't, because you can. And when life really kicks you in the guts and you think that you can't get up and move forward, I'm here to teach you that you can, because I'm living proof that you can. I've been told by family that I will never, ever make it in my industries, and yet here I am winning awards. So, as I said, I don't say that with ego. I say that out of respect and kindness to myself, because I've come so far to where I, to put myself here today for everything that I do. So I do mean everything with the greatest of heart, that I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in every week. And the ones that are new here tonight, if I didn't get to you, please know that I will get to, I will get in some way, shape, or form in the next couple of times. I will get to your questions and I will get to your readings. But anyone who needs anything that's important, or that needs further clarification on anything, please book in for a private reading and we'll work it out from there. So with that being said, 2.5 hours is more than enough tonight, and I again thank you from the bottom of my heart, and blessings to each and every one of you for the rest of the week. And in saying that, I wish everybody a great week. I wish everybody love and abundance, and I will see you all. Well, I may or may not, because next Tuesday is my birthday. So if I'm here, you'll get notification, a couple of days beforehand if I'm going to be here. Let me get out of my sign. If Anthony doesn't want to take me out for the night, I'm going to put him on the spot, then that's okay too, Anthony. I'm really not putting on your spot. I'm laughing with you, my sweet. Then I could very well be here. Alrighty, so God bless. Love to you all, and good night. Thank you for watching.